StockMiner.com studios here in the beautiful Black Hills of South Dakota. I'm your Stockminer, Brian Johnson. And sorry I have not been able to get a couple videos done. Did not do one yesterday. I've been very, very busy. Fortunately, we haven't really missed a whole lot. Here we are yet again, just another day wandering sideways, waiting for that more major break to happen. Couple of opportunities here or there where it has popped above certain levels, just not holding in any great way above those levels. There's that 12.4 level that I had told you about a couple days back, and you can see, yeah, okay, we're above it, but we really haven't gone anywhere. We've been dancing around it now for the last few days and just can't seem to break this consolidation pattern that we're in. As long as we stay up here, though, you have to give the slight edge to the bulls, as we have seen them do this many, many times before, where they run this thing sideways only to push it higher just when you think it's going to drop. Saw some moves today to the downside. We did finish down necessarily for the day, but really nowhere. This is just a very, very small kind of well-contained pullback for the time being. And the markets are showing it in all of the different indices. We go right to the daily. You can see the consolidation we're seeing. See this move to the downside? This had a few people spooked today. But by the end of the day, the bulls had done what they're notorious for doing, and that is drive it right back up. More important, they're holding these upper support levels. They were resistance here for a while. Now the bulls are not relinquishing them very easily. We get any further pushes to the downside, you absolutely have a reason to start looking at some shorts. I really thought we would see a break sometime Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday time frame, one way or the other. And okay, ultimately we did. We just didn't see anything stick. I'm really looking for something a little bit more, how would you say, with a little bit more confirmation behind it. That has not yet existed. So here we are wandering sideways, sitting above this support level that's been there for quite a while now, waiting for the next more major move. As I said, we get any kind of move back to the downside. That could be on some bad news, if you will, or whatever come tomorrow. Then we could see this continue and show us some confirmation to the downside. But really, we're just stuck here waiting for breaks above and below the areas we've been talking about all week long. NASDAQ on a 60-minute also pulling itself back. You can see from the start here of the month where we have just kind of whittled our way backwards and are now wandering sideways in and around the 2330, 2350 area kind of is the new range really that we're dancing in and around. And just quite simply, guys, if you take a look at the daily, this just looks like a pullback for the time being. We have had dips to the downside, but it cannot hold. Moves to the upside have equally been just as weak. We just can't seem to break this range, and the NASDAQ is by far the biggest struggler out of all of the other indices we've been looking at. It hasn't even broken this particular level, let alone testing new and breaking to new highs as we've seen on the Dow. So the NASDAQ, while it is holding the 50-day very nicely, this is just a bull pullback. Overall, still the weakest of all of the indices, with no real moves, no real confirmation coming from any of the more weaker indices. More importantly, NASDAQ, followed by the SPX. Let's see if we can't get a break by the end of tomorrow and do something with this particular candle. This is the weekly candle, and you can see so far we've gone nowhere. 35-point move from high to low all week long is nothing in the bigger scope of things. Just another small candle as we saw put in up here where we didn't get much movement at all that week as well. Doing the same thing here so far. Further pushes to the downside you really want to watch and see if we can't break some of these 2320, 2310 type levels within the NDX. Then maybe we are looking at something a little bit more major within the tech stocks themselves. And the SPX here wandering sideways as well. 1325 to 1340 is really the bigger range we're watching. It's pretty simple to me to see that we're still waiting for a break of one or the other. 1330 or 1325 would have been a more conservative, or a more aggressive, I should say, short from the SPX standpoint. But none of them are holding. We have not broke 1325. We have broke 1330, but as of today, you see it did not hold. There's just a big fight going on yet here. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles that are all contained within a very well-defined trading range for the time being. VIX doing the exact same thing as the markets. No confirmation one way or the other from a VIX standpoint as it hangs around and sits down in the 16 to 17 range, moving itself sideways, and for the week wandering at or around this upper blue line that we've been talking about for a while. We saw it hold here for a couple of weeks. VIX. Then the big push to the upside. Now we're back into holding it for potentially, we don't know, but if this stays in or around the same area tomorrow, we've got 3 weeks of holding this upper blue line, which could lead to, of course, further moves to the upside in the VIX. But right now, there is no reason to panic. Not yet. That 1920-ish range is where I really start to watch these. Apple has been a dog lately. Right at the very end of the day, managing to squeak out a 4-cent gain by the time it was all said and done. But you can see Apple's done absolutely nothing. We've had some pretty decent moves on gaps to the upside in the mornings. Here's a gap down, here's a gap up, but it's very difficult to play these type of moves without knowing exactly what you're doing in here. So the only bigger moves we've had have come after gaps. Gap down, move up, gap up, move down. But otherwise, if it just opens at or around the same area, it doesn't go anywhere. It just sits around here and wanders sideways. You can see from the daily candles, we are sitting on very, very good support right here. But the bulls cannot make any kind of progress whatsoever within Apple. That 335, 336 level is absolutely something to keep on your charts coming into tomorrow. You'll want to watch that closely. I would assume any break below it, the bulls will want to and maybe try to get it back up and above it by the end of the day, but it's certainly worth your time to maybe look at a small short position within Apple in and below these areas right here, just to see if we can get something to stick, because it's been so weak lately. Just really, really weak. Back up above this 350, now we've got something to talk about again in Apple. It does look like a very nice chart right here. Still just a big bull flag, but until something breaks one way or the other, we can't get confirmation on that. It's shown us nothing. Right here from a weekly to, this doesn't look the strongest. It is holding the 20-week moving average, but we just cannot see Apple get any kind of strength in through here as it consolidates sideways. From 4 weeks ago or so, we've moved within about a 325 to 350 range, and it's been sideways ever since. No commitment one way or the other from the markets on Apple. FAS did see a little bit of a push here up and above that 32 range, but it did not stick long, and once again putting in that sideways action. Loved what I was seeing out of the financials yesterday. And talked to my subscribers about that and said I really like what I'm seeing out of them as of yesterday. No follow through yet again. The markets just refuse to move any which direction, giving us nothing to work off of and nothing to trade right now, especially within the financial markets. Looking for the financials to maybe get started and get a little bit of momentum going to them today. No luck. No luck. The bulls could not move the financials whatsoever. So, as it is right now, FAS still trying to move up. FAZ is really still trying to move down. But you can see overall, marching its way sideways. 3 days here, couple down, and now sideways here today as well. Overall, the FAZ is still wanting to move down. FAS still wanting to move up. But you can see how slow and methodical they have been with all of their moves. As of right now, still below that 39 mark was your entry short. Really nothing else to look at till we break 37-ish or so. Maybe below 38 if you want to get really speculative on a trade. Otherwise, really nothing to do here within the financials except sit around and wait. Sitting on our hands, waiting for something to move. Okay, really thought we'd see something by the middle to the end of this week, especially after yesterday. Things were starting to pick up, looked like from a bull side, and today no confirmation whatsoever. So the markets have other ideas in mind. Maybe we see another wandering day tomorrow, which would make for an incredibly boring week of trading, but that might be what we see from the markets as they wander sideways, looking for the next big move. Keep your eye on the upper and lower levels we've been talking about for quite a while. Those are your breaks. That's where you're going to make your best bet at making money. Wait for it. Be patient. I know it's difficult when the markets do this. You want to jump in, but this is where you get your hands slapped if you're not careful. So wait for the breaks. You'll be in much better shape. We'll see you guys again tomorrow in the week ending video. If you like the analysis and stuff, tell your friends, post it on a website, sign up for the newsletter I offer, $28 a month, $1 a day. Does a lot more than what you see here in the dailies, and it's a lot more useful information that I think you guys could definitely use in your trading, especially when it comes to stocks to watch when the markets are doing what we've seen them do all week long. All right, guys, see you again tomorrow. Bye.